So this is part 2 of my rant on the thing about Nerf versus Dart Zone. I definitely think this is a great idea. I look back at my video I just made, like, literally less than, 40 minutes ago, or like an hour. I was like, well, I talked a lot about the Rapid Strike and how the Rapid Strike should make a comeback. Well, they did make this. It made the turbine. It shoots the same velocity, but it shoots at a quicker rate of fire. Yes, the stock is too short. Yes, the muzzle attachment point is weird. Yes, that bottom rail, I don't know what you would use it for, because it's just too short for really anything. But it's still an N-Strike compatible blaster that I don't know how to put it. It's an N-Strike compatible blaster that you can buy at a store for 30 United States dollars. Have one 18-round stick mag, which the 18-round stick mag that came with it was crap. If you buy 4C batteries, you have full auto. But things like for $30 you can buy the Alpha Auto Tommy 72 from Busby, which is great. It has a 72 round not mag, it's a drum that comes with it. It looks like a Thompson. It has an N-Strike compatible stock. It runs off AA's instead of C batteries, which are way cheaper. It's more simplistic. It doesn't have a rev trigger. You pull the trigger a little bit, it revs, you pull it the rest of the way, and it fires full auto glory. The things like the Infamous was great. It brought something that no one ever had. Gave you the ability to have a fully automatic blaster, have things like indoor dart wars, and you could just pick up darts and shove them into your mag. No need for extra mags if you were playing with someone else who also had something like an Infamous. I mean, if everyone had an Infamous, like let's say you're doing like an office war, if everyone had an Infamous, then it would be just, oh, they're shooting at me. Okay, I'll pick up some of their darts, put it in my mag. And that thing came out with a brand new mag, a 30-round mag. 30-round drum mag, which we've never seen before. The Titan was awesome, but I think most people would only buy it for the drum, the 50-round drum that came with it. Yes, 50 rounds is ridiculous. Yes, the 50-round drum was originally supposed to come out with a Stampede. That's why some of them I think the Icon series says Stampede ECS 50, because that was the original plan for it. They still have the prototype. They still have the prototype things online. But like the biggest thing with Nerf is they still think they're better. They think, yeah, we make higher quality things. But here's the thing, even like Dart Zone has to worry about things like 3D printed blasters. Because like the slab, the lever action gun by, I don't remember who, that thing is great. It has slam fire just like the Scavenger. The Worker Phoenix 2.0, the Worker Swift. I love my Worker Swift. I forgot to mention that in the last video. I have a Worker Swift. I love it. I love it to death. I think it is great. I just think the prime stroke is a little bit long. That's why I typically don't run it. But even things like the Ceta blasters, which are a little bit older, they had a full length version and they had a half length version. Both are great. But the Dart Zone Pro Mark 1, the Nexus Pro, the Ceta blasters, the Dart Zone Mark 1.1 and Mark 1.2 are just better. Like, the Swift is better. All these other pump action things are better than things like the Alpha Trooper, or a Retaliator with the Worker Pump Grip, because they are solid. They are just built great. Like my Nexus Pro, I love it to death because it's cheap. If it breaks, I can just go out and buy a new one. Yes, it's $50, but I still, if it breaks or something bad happens, like I leave it somewhere, I leave it primed on accident, I forget it at a Nerf war, it gets stolen, something like that, I still can just go out and buy a new one because it's so cheap. But things like this is an Alpha Strike Flight Mag. This is cheap. For the same price of this, Nerf could have made a nicer mag that's like these, like a 6-rounder. Yes, I get it. They were trying to cut corners on stuff in the Alpha Strike line, which is kind of dead now, which is crazy. But things like the Trailblazer from Elite 2.0, yes, it's great. But I'm talking things like, if Nerf makes things that can shoot 150 FPS, and stop worrying about the lawsuits that might happen if someone like shoots their little sister with it and actually grows some balls like Dart Zone did, I think Nerf will stay in this hobby. But until then, Nerf, yes, they have more mod compatibility with most things, but the fact is, this, and this do not even come close to comparing to that. Not that, this. This is half length. Half lengths are better. It shoots 150 FPS. Out of this, out of a 6-shot revolver, this is the same thing. This is a 6-shot revolver. This is a 6-shot revolver. Okay? This is Nerf. This is Adventure Force. This thing has a safety on the trigger, which right here, this is stupid, but it's still good. This thing's slide prime. This thing's slide prime. This has slam fire, but this doesn't. This has Picatinny rails. This has end strike rails. This has a stock attachment point. This has none. This has a barrel attachment point. This has a barrel attachment point, but it's only meant for this barrel. This thing's actually accurate enough to warrant sights. This thing shoots elite darts. Yes, even if you run things like little Valentine darts out of it, it's still not accurate enough to warrant real sights. Like this, the turbine. I've noticed something recently about it, is that this thing is so cheaply made that without a mag, no nothing, all those locks are open, not modified at all, okay? I can just force through it. I can force through the locks. And another thing, look at this, okay? This feels just like the Alpha Strike Flights thing, where it's decided to snap off, and there's no locks here, like there was in the Rapid Strike or the Strife. So look. See? That's how it should be. But no, I could just give her a little bit of muscle and just... Yes, I get it. It's a Nerf gun. It shouldn't be built like a modern firearm. But the fact is, if Nerf really wants to come back in this whole hobby that they started, they need to take something like this, okay, and just make it shoot harder. Yes, on alkalines, I don't know if you can do that, at least on these alkalines, but I know Worker by themselves, they pump out things all the time. But 3D grenade blasters are just getting better and better. Like the Woozy, that thing is crazy. It shoots 50 darts a second. Yes, you can't just get a 50 round half dart mag and throw it in it and shoot them all in a second. No, you have to use standard mags. But it's just crazy to me that this was a couple years ago. Dart Zone, the most you could see from them is things like the quick shot, the quick scope shot, whatever the hell it was called. It was a 4-shot revolver that shot like 80 something FPS. Still great, but it was overshadowed by things like the Strong Arm, the Disruptor, the Commander, because it only had 4 shots. The Commander right here, this thing is so hard to holster because of this bar here. There's no need. You don't need an end-strike rail there. You don't need this. This grip is too small. I'm 6'2". My hands are not that big. But look, I'm pretty much cramped down there. My fingers start overlapping. Yes, this has slam fire. Yes, this has a stack attachment point. Yes, this has a barrel. Yes, it has multiple active rails. But who's going to be putting a stock, a barrel, all these tactics on a pistol and then trying to holster it? Nobody. This, yes, you can just throw an airsoft attachment on it, right? Throw a red dot on it. Who's going to do that? No one. But it comes with a Kydex holster, Kydex style holster that you can just clip onto a belt and then run it. And then you can run the other 2 cylinders with it too, because it has the ability to do that. This, you can't just pop the cylinder out of this and do that. Yes, there's mods, I'm sure, that you can do that. With the Maverick, I know there's mods that you can do it with. But this Raptor Strike, to be an example, this sight thing on it was a Grenader style sight. This is obviously a sniper rifle. They made a cylinder fed one, that had a tactical rail on top. This thing came with a bipod, 2 6-round mags, accurate strike darts, and didn't have a top fucking tactical rail. I 3D printed one. I don't have it on here right now because I was doing stock things. But I 3D printed a rail to fit in this gap. Why couldn't Nerf just make a tactical rail? I think a lot more people would use Nerf blasters if they had some logic behind them. This. Just like a Night Finder. Yes, I added the bottom trigger so that you could do it without having to do anything really. But the Volt's even better because the Volt, yes, it's an Elite 2.0 blaster, I know. But the Volt has a switch. Flick it, it still has a crappy laser, but it's still a switch. You don't have to pull down on a trigger, or like in the Night Finder where you pull down on the trigger a little bit and the laser comes on. I think that for Nerf to really succeed in this hobby by now, they just need to put on their big point pants and grow some balls. It's a fact. They get something that can shoot 150 FPS for $50, and they can finally compete. So that's the end of this rant, because apparently I need to be verified by YouTube from my phone number for me to post longer videos, but my phone number apparently doesn't work with them. So I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.